his sleeve. He opens the game with 1 e4, and well, when you play e4 against Yan, you have to be ready for his Petrov. He plays e5. There you can see Hikaru shaking his head. He's looking at one of the games, and maybe he's smiling that Pragnananda played the French defense against Fabiano Caruana. Nepo also is very interested in what has just happened, and well, they have to focus on their game. Knight comes out to f3. Will Nepo continue with the Petrov, or will he show faith in some other opening? No, knight f6. He is continuing with his main opening. And while Nepo is a target, when he keeps playing the Petrov, on the other hand, it's very difficult to outplay him because he's so well prepared in the Petrov. He revises his lines regularly, his seconds are working on the material. So all in all, it's like he's created a bulletproof opening repertoire, and he's telling his opponents that I'm going to come with this. You can shoot your bullets at me, and I am ready to take them all in. And this is really an amazing strategy that Nepo has. Maybe it also helps him to be more secure before the game, because then he knows that he only has to work on one opening rather than many. And right now Nakamura has chosen the main line here. He plays bishop to d3. This was also what Pragnananda had played against Hikaru. Bishop d6 comes out, and now castles by both sides seems logical. Yes, white castles, and now black will also castle. So the reason why white can even claim to fight for an edge here is the slightly shaky position of the knight on e4. Here Nepo continues with c6. In the game with Pragnananda, it had continued with knight c3, take, and this is how it went. But this time you can see Hikaru has deviated with rook e1. Nepo plays his bishop to f5. And now the queen comes out to b3. This has been played before. In fact, Magnus Carlsen himself has played this against Jan Nepomniachtchi. So now, what do you do with black? I think you have to protect your b7 pawn. He moves his queen up to d7, defending the pawn there. And now Hikaru pushes his pawn to c5. Now, if you play your bishop here, then knight e5 and you are lost. So you have to play your bishop to c7. Notice taking this pawn is suicidal because of bishop h2 check, and you lose the queen. So that's the reason why Hikaru plays g3 and tells Yan that this is hanging here. This is falling. What are you going to do? b6 is one move, queen c8 is another move. But Nepo plays the move a5. And a question does remain here. What is a5? Can we simply not snatch the pawn on b7? You can see Nepo made this move. He has 1 hour 53 minutes. Nakamura has 1 hour 58 minutes. Can he simply not snatch the pawn? I think he can. No, he goes knight d2. Well, the point is, if he would have taken here, then knight a6 followed by rook b8 would have led to a very quick the queen getting trapped here. Rook fb8, and the queen is trapped. So that's the reason why Hikaru goes knight d2, and here Jan Nepomniachtchi now plays bishop to e6. Very interesting move, because if you take here, pawn takes, and then the queen is attacked, and the pieces are also attacked here. So Hikaru now has to decide what is his move going to be here. And you can see Yan was getting up. Hikaru was about to make his move. Then Yan sat down again. Hikaru still did not make his move. Now he does. He snatches the pawn. And this time, knight a6 is a little less strong, because after take, there is bishop takes, and this is hanging. And if you play here rook fb8, then queen takes c7, knight takes c7, and knight e5 leads to a very good position. So here Nepo knew that he must take here. And after bishop h7, he takes here. Now imagine if you had taken this knight, check, and you would lose the queen. So he's taken here, taken this, and Hikaru has chopped off the rook. So completely insane position. Nepo now plays knight h3 check. He's simply well prepared. Wow, this is amazing. a5 never has been played before, and yet in this line both the players have prepared, because it's the top choice of the engine. This is what modern chess is all about. You prepare well, and then you come out all guns blazing. Bishop g4. Now you have to take care of your queen, that it doesn't get trapped here, and at some point you also want to bring your queen back into the game. Hikaru has 1 hour 56 minutes. This time when he makes his move, Nepo does not sit back. He goes away and comes back in a bit. Hikaru has 1 hour 55 minutes. Nepo has 1 hour 43 minutes. And now he plays his rook to e8. What a nice move. The point is, queen goes back. If you had taken here, queen e2 is just game over. It's a mate. So that's the reason why he comes back with his queen. And if you count the material, you will see that black has 5 pawns, white has 6, but black also is an exchange down. So black is not just exchange down, but also pawn down. So that's a total of 3 pawns down. That's how insanely complicated this position is. You really have to understand the complications here and understand what is white's compensation. White's compensation lies in the fact that the light squares around the white king are weak. So that's the reason why Nepo, by the way, Nepo should go king g8 here, and that would give him a good position, because then later bishop f5, bishop e4 can be played, but he plays directly bishop f5, and this is perhaps not the most accurate move. Both players are out of the board. Hikaru comes back, sits down, and he has to move his queen away, and he plays queen to f1. That's the move. That is the best move there. He still has 1 hour 54 minutes, which means that he is in his preparation. The engine is giving an advantage to white, which means things are not looking great for Jan Nepomniachtchi, because now a check here could be simply met with taking it. So Nepo goes for the move knight d7. He develops his knight, writes down. Hikaru comes in. And one of the main plans here, which Hikaru knows very well, is to play a4 and rook a3 and activate the rook this way without having to disturb this formation. Let's see if Hikaru plays a4, rook a3 here. No, he goes knight ef3, which is also a fine move. And now Nepo plays his knight to f6. So the reason why this position is fine for white, of course we talked about the light squares, but also white's pieces are not coming into the game, and black has such great pieces, so black's position is fine that way. And maybe Hikaru wants to play knight g1 or maybe a4. You know, these are the moves that he has. He goes knight g1, he offers the trade of knights, but this knight cannot be taken, because after bishop takes, it's trouble there. You're going to lose material. So he goes king g8. And now maybe the best idea is knight f3, opening up the bishop. If Hikaru can play that, I think he would be doing very, very well in this position. He sits down. He has actually outplayed Jan in the opening. He is better prepared. Jan maybe forgot his opening ideas. What is Hikaru going to play now? He plays queen e2. Maybe not the best move here, because knight f3 was a great move, but it's been played, and if you trade the queens, white was simply winning. Like, there's no doubt about it. So you can't trade the queens, which is why you have to play your knight to e4. Now if you trade here, then after bishop e4, king f1, queen f5, this is over. Like, there's no way that you can save such a position. You are lost. So that's the reason why now after queen e2, knight e4, Hikaru is thinking about what is the move that he wants to play, and he goes a4. He wants to bring his rook from a3 right in the center of the board. Jan comes in, and now he takes, bishop takes g3. Wow, what a move. Jan is in a complete sacrificial mode today. He first took on f2, then he gave up an exchange, you know, like on a8. Then now he's taking on g3, and Hikaru actually, you know, he's shaking his head because he knows he's missed his chance to get an advantage, but he's still safe. It feels like you're thinking twice, you're double checking your lines. You have 50 minutes on the clock, and after taking this, he has 46 minutes. Jan Nepomniachtchi has 27 minutes. The only move here is a check. Pawn takes, and now at this point Jan is a rook and a piece down. Whoa, insane, completely insane. But this is an important moment because he couldn't go to h2. That would have led to a big attack mate. So that's the reason why he went to f1. Knight came to g3, giving a fork. So you're going to win back the queen. But in return for the queen, you will have a rook and 2 minor pieces, which is quite a lot of material that white has. Hikaru goes king e1. And now Jan takes on e2. Knight takes on e2. Black plays the bishop to g4, attacking the knight. And now rook a3. The rook will actually swing over here. Hikaru is activating his rook, but in this position a queen is very, very powerful when it is compared to other pieces, because after take here by Jan, you will see that there are a lot of weak pawns that white has, and the queen is like a missile which will go and attack f4 and d4 and all these pawns here. So right now Hikaru seems to be ahead on material, but positionally he is not doing so well, because you can see how Jan makes his queen move and attacks the d4 pawn. It has to be defended. Knight to b3 defends the d4 pawn and also the c1 bishop, which was also attacked here. So now Jan gives a check. Hikaru is thinking where to move his king. It's not so easy. He plays king d1. Well, check, king c2, check here. Now the king moves to c3. Somehow the checks keep on coming and there's no effective way to block it. Plays queen f3 check, king c2, and I guess the players are going to soon agree to a draw because there's just no way to keep the game going. King c3, check, king c2, and check, and I think the players will agree to a draw. Yes, a draw it is. Let's hear what they have to say.
Knight f3 instead of queen 2. Knight f3 instead of 1 2 instead of queen 2.